Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for over 40 years. I'm going through the text, asking Jesus to clarify for me as I read it, and then I write from that clarity. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. Today we're reading from A Course in Miracles, Chapter 12, Section 1, The Judgment of the Holy Spirit. And we're going to read paragraphs 6 and 7. So paragraph 6 tells us, only appreciation is an appropriate response to your brother. Gratitude is due him for both his loving thoughts and his appeals for help, for both are capable of bringing love into your awareness if you perceive them truly. And all your sense of strain comes from your attempts not to do just this. How simple, then, is God's plan for salvation? There's but one response to reality, for reality evokes no conflict at all. There's but one teacher of reality who understands what it is. He does not change his mind about reality because reality does not change. Although your interpretations of reality are meaningless in your divided state, his remain consistently true. He gives them to you because they are for you. Do not attempt to help a brother in your way, for you cannot help yourself, but hear his call for the help of God, and you will recognize your own need for the Father. Well, this is so simple that I'm amazed at how long it took me to see this, to see its simplicity. I don't understand anything, and I don't know what anything is for. I have no way to judge, so I should not judge. My brother is always loving me or calling for love, and if I think something else is happening, it's because I've asked the ego for an interpretation, and the ego is a part of me that doesn't know anything. I'm confused because I listened to two diametrically opposed voices and tried to believe both of them. But I can change this. I can learn to listen to only the voice for God. Even in this world, I can do that. As I listen to the Holy Spirit's interpretation of my brother's words and actions, I learn that he only wants love. However, he may be confused about that. I give him the love he asks for by remembering who he is. At the same time, the memory of who I am becomes stronger in my mind. Perfect. The Holy Spirit's interpretation is always the same because reality is always the same. The ego mind sees fear and guilt, attack and defense, pain and suffering. The Holy Spirit sees only the Son of God, perfect, free, joyful, and peaceful. He sees only innocence, regardless of what seems to be happening in the illusion. He sees the truth because he looks right through the illusion to the only thing that is real. I cannot do this with the ego mind. This is why I must learn to listen only to the voice for God. After Jesus helped me to use yesterday's paragraph to work out my confusion about a particular situation, I was freed from my distorted vision of this brother of mine. I saw him as he is, not as his story. This freed me of my confusion about my own story and left me feeling peaceful and happy. I no longer needed to change anything, and my mind was clear. Later that day, I had an occasion to talk to this person. We had a nice conversation that led effortlessly into talking about his troubled relationship. The words that needed to be said came easily and were well accepted because I was no longer trying to help him in any way. In fact, I was now so clear that my way was insane that it would never have occurred to me to do that. I didn't plan this conversation or even know I was going to have it. I just allowed the words to come when they did. Will this be helpful to him? I'm sure it will be because it came from a source outside my ego mind. Will I see a difference? Will the relationship change in form? I don't know, and it's none of my business. I did the part I was to do. When I realized that my mind needed to be healed, I accepted the atonement for myself, and that was my function. Then, with a clear mind, I was able to be a channel for healing. There's nothing left for me in this particular story. Judging it by appearances would be to fall into error again. To think I know what it means would be to listen to another voice. My part is over. I feel only appreciation for my brother and for this opportunity to choose salvation. Paragraph 7 tells us, your interpretations of your brother's needs are your interpretation of yours. By giving help, you're asking for it. And if you perceive but one need in yourself, you will be healed. For you will recognize God's answer as you want it to be. And if you want it in truth, it will be yours. Every appeal you answer in the name of Christ brings a remembrance of your Father closer to your awareness. For the sake of your need, then, hear every call for help as what it is, so God can answer you. Your interpretations of your brother's needs are your interpretation of yours. One of the things I've noticed is that when someone tells me about their problem, what I hear is my own problem. And if I answer them, I tend to speak to what I think I need. For instance, when someone talks to me about a relationship with their child, my mind automatically references my problem relationship with a child of mine. As I speak, my reference is refined to a specific child of mine and a specific problem. So if I answer this person based on my ego judgments, I will give him and myself an ego answer, thus being no help at all. However, if I immediately ask the Holy Spirit what he would have me say, I will answer both my student and myself with a true answer. Even if the other person does not need my input, my heart answers a call for help. And so I answer my own heart's call for help. How this works out depends on what it is I really want. What is my goal in that moment? Am I interested in defending my false gods, or am I interested in remembering God? I will get what I ask for, so I practice choosing God in every circumstance. When I notice that I failed to do so, I forgive it and move on to the next opportunity. Simply being aware of the voice I choose to hear is very helpful. My willingness to be aware is a step forward. Not every question sounds like a question. At times, a call for help feels like an attack. Sometimes it feels like the other person is schooling me. Sometimes it feels like the other person is running away from the answer. Oftentimes it feels like guilt and fear. But what I'm learning through my practice is that everyone's deepest heart desire is to know God. So I can always answer that call, and I can always hear that call, and I can always answer that call. And in the answering, I receive the answer I long for. This is worth my practice, my time, and my effort. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And thank you so much for those who have subscribed in these last day or two. I appreciate you very much. And I'll be back soon with another reading. See you then.